Hello, it's time for another weekly update, and it's good to be here with you. Want to first draw your attention to just a little meditation on the person of Christ out of Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3, and then I'll make a few announcements about what's going on in the life of our church. Hebrews 1 3, this is, of course, part of the author's introduction to his book, and his introduction of the person of Christ is really the opening salvo of the book. And he says in verse 3, He is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature, and he upholds the universe by the word of his power. After making purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high. So there are two really important things about this verse. One is just to first see the glory of Christ, that he is the true representation of the nature of God in a way that God had never revealed before Christ was incarnate. We'd seen glimpses, we'd seen even Moses saw kind of his back parts, his glory, in a way that was amazing and astounding. And yet John in chapter 1 can say that really Moses didn't see God in the way that we see him exposed to us and revealed in the person of Christ. We see all of his attributes embodied and most fully displayed. We see his love, his mercy, his holiness, his truth, his righteousness, his wisdom, and many other things on such beautiful display in the person of Christ. And the more we come to see and know who Christ is, the more we're coming to know who our God is. And these are all things that are visible not to the physical eyes, and they weren't to those who were contemporaries of Jesus. There were many who saw him physically and didn't see glory. It's something that, as we behold his works and as we hear his words, is really sensed through the lens of faith, through the sense of faith that we come to see, wow, he really is the shining forth of God's glory. And we've all experienced that. We who know Christ, we've beheld his glory in various times and ways by faith, and we've been floored by it. But then the amazing pivot that the author makes is after laying out who Jesus is, he then, based on that, makes a point about how sufficient his work for us is. And that's why he says that when he had made purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high, which for a priest would indicate he's finished his work. And that's so much through the book of Hebrews. He's going to be applying that idea that as glorious as a person of Christ is, that's how sufficient his work for us, his people, is. And for us who are experiencing, as the original audience, suffering, temptation, various distractions, all kinds of these forces that would pull us away from Christ and cause us to drift away from him, the drumbeat of this book is to see how glorious the person of Christ is, how valuable he is, and how great the work that he's done for us, so that we see him as not only a big and majestic Christ out there, but one who is our high priest interceding for us, the one through whom we have an approach to the Father, and we have a throne of grace, and we can take our needs to him in times of trouble. So just to let there be an exhortation, you keep leaning into learning the person of Christ, and not only that as an abstract truth, but as a means to draw our hearts to trust him and to be secure in the work that he's done for us in giving his life as an atonement for sin and really securing eternal life for us. So a few announcements for us about what's going on as a church, and they all kind of in one way or another revolve around this Sunday. You're probably well aware this is the last Sunday the Ursels are going to be among us, as Paul has taken a call from Grace Bible Fair Oaks to go and be on full-time staff there. He'll be beginning his duties there in the beginning of August. So this is our last Sunday with the Ursel family. It'll certainly be a bittersweet time for us. They've been such treasure, and the Lord's used them in our church in many ways, and yet we're glad to see what he's going to do with them for the sake of Christ at Grace Bible Fair Oaks. And we have a more specific and more focused time of saying goodbye to them next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We're going to have a dessert event out in the church lawn, so please try to make it for that as well. Also regarding Sunday, and we will be outside again as we started meeting outdoors this last Sunday. We're going to continue that. We have a guest preacher, Todd Bolton, who will be coming, and we'd originally announced that Mike Canham was going to be coming to be our guest preacher, but Mike, for various COVID-related reasons, is not going to be able to come out even to California, so Todd graciously agreed to step in and be our guest preacher. And kind of related to Mike's not being able to come here, he was going to be a part of my ordination exam. And the larger picture with that is we'd been announcing that that exam was going to be this coming Saturday, and then we were going to have an ordination service on Sunday if I passed. But due to various COVID-related things, it's become clear that this is not going to be good timing for that exam. So we did decide that we're actually going to postpone it, and we're looking at early November as the time to reschedule that exam, and Lord willing, there will be a better availability for committee members to be able to come and for us to be able to sit in a room together and do the exam. So that'll be postponed. And finally, last word about this Sunday is that we've been doing a Equipping Hour series on Sunday evenings at 5. We're going to hit pause on that for this week, and we're going to be doing Zoom community groups this Sunday at 5 p.m. So there is an email coming that will have more details about the different groups and the links to the Zoom calls, so please be on the alert for that. But just again, we're not doing Equipping Hour this Sunday. We're doing community groups by Zoom at 5 p.m. So it'd be great to have each of you come and be a part of that. And we as pastor elders, we love you, and we look forward to seeing those who are going to be able to see on Sunday. And for those who aren't able to join us, we totally understand, but we do miss you, and we want you to know that we love you. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.